Welcome to the Joy Work Show, the podcast that goes beyond the surface of business, right to the heart, to explore the real joy and the stories behind success. Not just the moments of celebration, but the challenges that pave the way for them. Hiya, I'm Diane, and on this podcast we know that joy isn't just about the good times. Often, the greatest joy comes right after the greatest challenge. So today I want to talk to you about something that I am not very good at, and that is having patience. And the reason that I want to talk to you about it today is it's very relevant for me at the moment. It is something that is coming up for me time and time again with my clients, with people within inside my membership, with peers in our conversations of the things that we're struggling with in our businesses. And also what I'm trying to teach my children, and realizing that a lot of the time I don't embody it, and something that I'm trying to teach them to have more of, and actually what having more patience can give us. So yeah, it's the thing that we all know we should have. And honestly, when you think that you should have it, the automatic thoughts that come to my mind are, I don't have time. I need to get on with it. I need to create income and profit within my business. I need more leads. I need more sales. I don't have time for patience. And if you're like that too, you want to see results within your business, like yesterday. And if you're building a business whilst also bringing up small humans, perhaps managing a chronic illness, which I am at the moment, or simply trying to get traction as a solopreneur, as a person who wears all the hats, as the person who is doing all of the things, waiting for things to pay off can feel torturous. It can feel like you're doing all of the things and getting none of the results. But you could be comparing yourself to somebody's 10-year success to your 10-day success, to your 10-month success. And it's a really dangerous place to be. And actually, we all need to learn patience in society as well as within business. And it's the reason that I'm trying to teach my children to have more patience with themselves, with each other, with me. But I need to also embody that. And it's something that I really, really struggle with. But the thing is that patience isn't some fluffy, nice to have virtue. It's a difference between success, sustainability, and burnout. It's between building something real with scalability, sustainability, and something that is aligned with you, and chasing every single shiny object that comes along your way that promises to be the next quick fix. So I wanted to discuss it today and dive a little deeper into why patience is actually your greatest business asset, your strongest mindset tool, even when it feels impossible. So let's go. So I need to start with the fact that I've just told you that I am the least patient person I know. I think things should be done fast. I want to go from A to B faster. I have just recorded an episode with Nikki Fish, which will come out in the coming weeks, where we talked about slow walkers and the fact that I don't understand why people don't want to get from A to B as quickly as possible. So when I started my business, I had this completely unrealistic timeline in my head. A little bit naivety, a little bit of ego, a little bit of not understanding the process of setting up your own business in comparison to helping build a business with other people around you. I was doing this solely on my own. Even when we built other businesses from the ground up, I'd been part of a team, not just a team of one. So I had this, 6 months to six figures nonsense that were sold in my head. We've all seen it. We've all talked about it. You all know the stories of people who have said they've done that. And I figured that if I worked hard enough, showed up consistently, and did all the right things, that success would, just happen. Whilst in that first 6 months, there was successes, it wasn't the success, it wasn't the finished product. And let's face it, it's never going to be the finished product, because the goalposts will keep moving and my business will keep changing and adapting, and I will grow and develop in the directions that I want to go in. But what I was doing is I was comparing my success to others that perhaps I wanted to be like. And whilst I say it's really good to help and find those people who have walked the path before you so you can learn and grow with them, but my life was very different to their lives. There was some resonation, but there was also some things that were wildly different about the age and stage of where I was at, but also the choices that I wanted to make. I got into my business to make a choice over how my family lived their life, over the parent that I wanted to be, the time I spent with my children, the ambitions that I had for myself and my business. But I was running a business. I am running a business raising young kids under 4. I am dealing with a chronic illness that I'm just about to go to. You'll know that I've mentioned in podcast before that I'm currently at a stage that I'll be going for surgery for it. But it's an ongoing thing that I deal with, as it is for many, many people. And I was also starting my business from a standing start as a business of one. I had no big audience, no team. I didn't exist on social media, and I had no magical shortcut. Just a whole lot of trial, error, and waiting, changing, trial, error, and waiting. And honestly, some days still, I've hated it. I've hated not seeing the growth that I've wanted to find. I've hated that I wanted things to be happening quicker. But I also realised that now that my impatience was making me my own worst enemy. When I sit in the place of impatience, I'm constantly second guessing, pivoting too soon, making too many changes, and feeling like a failure because I wasn't seeing overnight success. I know this will sound familiar to a lot of people who are listening to this, but patience is actually a strategy. But no one wants to talk about it because patience in business isn't sexy. We want the hustle story. We want the dramatic breakthrough. We want the millions earned in 6 months. We want 6 figures overnight. The thing that they did that suddenly changed everything. But real sustainable success, that comes from consistency over time. Patience is literally a business strategy. And let me tell you why. Compounding growth is real. Most of the big wins in business come from small, consistent actions that add up over time. You've all heard of the 1% thing that you can do better tomorrow than you've done today. It's like planting a seed. You plant the seed, you water them, you give them sunlight, and then you resist the urge to dig them up every 5 minutes to check if they are growing. They will grow in their own time in the right environment. And so often clients, peers, people within my membership will come to me and say, I think I've got my offer wrong. I don't think I know who my ideal or dream client is. I don't think I know what I'm doing. My messaging is off. And all of those things may be true. But the one thing that they haven't done is had the patience to sit with that offer, to sit with that messaging, to sit with the client that they are speaking to and let it accumulate over time. They're expecting that one social media post, that one change in messaging to give it 1 week and that it's going to change. We're expecting these changes overnight in some cases, and that is not what is going to bring you sustainable growth within your business. You are not getting in front of enough people in 24 hours to change your business overnight. So then means that people move to switching strategies too soon, which kills any momentum that they did have. Any momentum. So if you've posted an offer today and you've not seen the results by tomorrow, or perhaps you've even given it a week, people are then switching their strategy, need to do something else, need to come up with a new offer. But every time you start over, you lose the progress that you did have. Sticking with something long enough to see results is half the battle. People are underestimating how long it will take to grow an audience, get their marketing in place. Unless you have huge amounts of money to invest in your marketing, you need to understand that it is going to take time to grow that audience. There's lots of different things you can do to amplify it. There's lots of different monies you can spend. There's lots of different strategies you can put in place. There's lots of different things that you need to do first. And if you do the foundational things first, like know your mission, know your vision, know your values, know your dream client, all of those things will stand you in better stead to do it quicker and not have to go back and do a repeat of all of the things. But if you're not sticking with something long enough, if you don't believe in your offer enough to stick with it for weeks and months, not days and weeks, then you're right, your offer might be a problem. But if you know that your offer is your core product, is what you do, it is your expertise, it is the thing that is going to change your customer's life, you need to stick with it long enough for your customers to see it, trust it, believe in it, and become part of your world. When you're sticking with something, when you have patience, when you believe in it, it protects your energy. Impatience leads to burnout because you feel constantly frustrated by not being there yet. You'll exhaust yourself before you even get close because you're having to come up with new things all of the time because you believe the old things weren't happening, because you weren't patient enough to see the results. Your audience needs time to trust you. People don't buy from businesses that they've just discovered. They buy from businesses they've watched show up consistently over time and who are not changing their messaging every 2 minutes. They want to see you consistently and expertly talk about what you do, how you do it, and how it can help them. And if you're not doing that repeatedly and putting the customer at the heart of it and knowing exactly what you do for them and making your customers see that you know exactly what you do for them, then the customer isn't going to trust. If they see that you are a marketing expert in messaging one day and then a marketing expert in building websites the next day, unless they're both linked and connected, the customer's not sure what you're doing. They need to know what you're an expert in and why you're going to help them. And when they see it over and over again consistently, that's when they build the trust in you. And that takes time. And you have to have the patience and the trust for yourself. So you have to build your patience muscle. Everything that we can learn is a muscle within ourselves that we can teach new things, that we can teach new resiliencies to. So if patience is the real secret, how do we actually get better at it? Here are a few things that have helped me. I've had to detach myself from artificial timelines. Success doesn't follow a schedule, absolutely, but I don't treat them like ultimatums. I have to bend and flex when those goals bend and flex. You might set a goal, but actually something better comes along. It's not always about the negativity. Perhaps you've set a goal, but this wonderful opportunity comes your way, which means that goal is no longer tangible. It is okay to change it. On the flip side, there's also been goals that I've set within my business, but if something happens with my children or my health, or let's say that, the universe just decides to kick me somewhere else in life, then I have to be able to move that goal. It doesn't mean that goal's gone forever, but it's gone for now. Patience isn't about necessarily slowing down. Patience is understanding that everything's happening as it is happening. And it may well just be happening exactly as it should. And you have the ability to accept that and trust the process. Focusing on that process and not just outcomes is really important. Instead of obsessing over the end result, pay attention to your daily habits that move you forward. Instead of focusing on the things that aren't happening, focusing on the things that are happening within your business, the things that you have done, the things that have moved the needle in your business that perhaps you're not quite paying enough attention to. The work you are doing, the growth you are having is the win. And it is those wins that are going to move you forward to the success that you've envisioned. So you want to track those small wins. Sometimes we don't see progress because we're too busy looking for the big moment. We don't see that we've signed clients this week because they've not brought in the 6 figures that we promised ourselves when we launched our business. We don't see the followers that have come into our audience, signed up for our freebies, joined our email list, because we're too busy focusing on the income rather than the opportunities. The more opportunities you have, the more times you focus on those people as individuals within your business, the income will take care of itself. When you don't miss the small wins, keep a list of small victories. You will be shocked at how much you're actually achieving. And you have to play the long game. Business isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. It's a mountain climb. It's a long ass road trip where sometimes you'll feel completely lost. Expect it to take time and you'll stop panicking when it does. If you expect it to take longer than it should, when it happens quicker, you'll be delighted about it. If you have an overnight success within your business, it will feel fantastic. If something overachieves its goal, it will feel amazing. But you'll be in such a better place to accept it because you'll be doing all of the things that we've just spoke about. And learn to sit with the not yet. The space between where you are and where you want to be is uncomfortable, but that's where growth happens. So often when I'm working with clients to help them achieve the goals that they truly want to achieve, it's about removing the things that they are doing that doesn't get them anywhere near that specific goal. When I launched this podcast, I knew the goals I wanted to achieve out of it. But in the month that I was launching it, it was going to mean less income for the business because I couldn't sell all of the things and plan this podcast and get it launched. But the launch was so much more important to me than more income in that month because I was playing the long game that the income that will come through launching this podcast. So I have to accept there's lots of things that I want to do. But as a business owner of one, as an entrepreneur, as a mum to 2 girls, as somebody battling with chronic illness, and somebody just frankly with a busy life, there are some things that are, yes, that's going to be wonderful, but not yet. And in that, you're not failing when you don't do those things. You will succeed better when you look after the priorities that are going to get you towards the goals. You are not failing, you're just in the middle. You're just in that messy middle. So if you're feeling impatient, if you're staring at your business and thinking, why isn't this happening faster? I need this to happen faster. Just take a breath. You're not behind. You're not failing. You're just in the messy middle, and that's exactly where you're supposed to be. Keep showing up. Keep planting the seeds, and remember the people who are the successes that you are watching, who make it, aren't the ones who never struggled, aren't the ones that didn't feel like they were failing, aren't the ones that didn't actually fail. They failed over and over again. They just got themselves back up. Go back and listen to the podcast episode about reboundability. It's about how many times we rebound, not about how many times we fall. The people who are successful, the people that you are looking up to, they're the ones who stuck around long enough to see their efforts pay off. They're the ones that stopped using excuses to hold them back. They're the ones that got over to move on with their dreams, their goals, and the income that they wanted to earn. So think about what's holding you back and just have a little patience with yourself. The world would be a better place if we all had a little patience with ourselves and others. So if you're sitting there and thinking that this has hit home, I want you to do one thing. Take a look at your business and ask yourself, where do I need to trust the process a little bit more? And if you're ready to get a little strategic about your long-term success, you can check out my 21-day strategy sprint. It's all about setting yourself up easily and quickly with small tasks for 21 days that will set you up for the long game, not just the next quick win. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if anything I said resonated with you at all, please come and give us a like, a share, or a subscribe. It helps me continue to show up and do this, and it helps other people find us. So thank you so much for being here. Now go, be patient, keep building something amazing, and I'll see you next time, probably with one of our wonderful guests.